I am so hopeful and so optimistic because what I am seeing as a general trend, no matter where I go, is some steady growth and comeback from the pandemic. Fortunately, we did not have to close any churches as a result of the pandemic. There's a couple that we're concerned about, so we're trying to prop them up. But you have experienced some phenomenal growth, and we do have a few of the larger churches that are doing that as well. So that's encouraging. The places that struggle are the ones who were struggling back when I was coming through the search process that were on my radar, like the churches out in Convocations 8 and 9 in the west around Danville, and then the churches on the Eastern Shore. Although what we are seeing on the Eastern Shore is a phenomenal surge of very empowered lay people who tell the bishop that she doesn't have to look so hard for a priest for them because they are fine doing what they are with supply priests, and then otherwise their leadership is extraordinary. I do worry about the western part of the diocese because of the clergy shortage. And I don't know what the answer is, although my staff and I are out there quite a bit. The problem is the baby boomers are retiring. And the last time I looked at things sociologically, that was one of the larger components of the population. And so they're retiring in great numbers, which means that priests are retiring in great numbers. But there's a decline in the birth rate. And actually, I think we're facing a pretty steep cliff drop-off in young people applying to college in these next few years, which means that young people are not going to seminary. So we're not replacing priests at the same rate that they're leaving. So that's a concern. Yeah.
The confirmands are just on their way. They're finishing up their rehearsal, but they're going to join you in here in just a
Okay,
minute.
great.
So they'll be here in a minute. But you're welcome to keep going. If you wouldn't mind, just let me take your coffee. Tilt your mic up a little bit towards your up a little higher.
Like that?
That'll be a little better. Yeah, we just, for the recording that's going on, we want to make sure we capture everything.
So I can't say any heresies.
You can say them, but it's on you then if you follow. It's on you then. Excellent. All right, so folks will be filtering in, but you are already doing what you're supposed to be doing, so keep doing it. All right? Have a wonderful time with your bishop, and we'll be getting things ready for the service, and we'll be in and out. And see you in a few minutes. All right? Over to you.
Thank you, Father Noah. I want to be like him when I grow up. Other questions? Well, if you don't have questions for me, I'm going to ask you questions. In your opinion, what is the most exciting thing going on here besides growth? That is very exciting.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
A steady stream of things being offered, and it's hard to keep up with all of them.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Yes.
Problem.
I'm not on Facebook anymore. I swore off Facebook last Lent and never looked back, but I do get occasional communications about things going on at Christ in St. Luke's, and if I weren't so busy on Sundays, I would come down. Yes, ma'am.
I think one of the exciting things really and truly is the growth of our younger population and the community that they are building among themselves, not in an exclusive way away from my generation, but they are finding community here and friendships here that read out well beyond the Sunday service. And I think that, and that spreads in the community and brings more people in. It's sort of like come and see, and they are.
Okay, that's terrific, and that gives me an opportunity actually to talk about annual convention. We're trying to get used to saying convention now instead of council, because we have a speaker coming who is really interested in the needs of the younger generation, and he has done some pretty powerful things. He's a filmmaker, and he is with an organization called Grace-Based Films. And right now they are in production on a film called A Case for Love, which is totally by young people. It's really, really exciting because what we are finding, and I mentioned this actually at last council, because then it was council, that the place where the church really,
the church and also the faith, maybe separate from the church, is really exploding right now, is in that Generation Z, Generation Alpha, 20 and 30-year-olds that are finding that they need something to hang on to because the world has been terribly unsettling lately. So my question is, what is it at Christ and St. Luke's that attracts these younger people? Because this is also happening at Galilee down in Virginia Beach. Yes?
I attribute it to Love Club, which is people who are 20 or 40 and they meet adding love. And they do it on a fairly regular basis. I'm too old to go, so I can't tell you what I said, but what I hear is that sometimes when they are meeting, other people not from the church who are sitting in the same establishment are listening, and after about 2 or 3 times, they join the circle, and then pretty soon they come here to church. And I think it's really, we got this one? I think it's really important to provide something for people who are out of high school and not quite into older age.
Yeah, and we've just hired a new youth and college age missioner at the Diocese, and so I'm going to be passing that along because I agree. Yes, ma'am, over here. Do we need to pass the microphone? Because I don't know. I think we're recording.
Well, I have the privilege of working with Pat and Hannah in the children's. I have the privilege of working with Pat and Hannah in the children's ministry, and I think having a vital place for kids that is exciting for them to come makes young families comfortable here. And I know people don't like the thundering noise on the ramp for the children run in, but I actually love it. There's a lot of thunder now.
Is that something that happens at the later service?
Yes.
Oh, I look forward to that. So when I was a parish priest, I had a group of graduate students from Notre Dame University that landed at my church, and they were very adamant that their children experienced the liturgy from the birth to the grave, and so they didn't like the nursery. They didn't want to put their kids in the nursery. So I would do a children's homily, and then they would go for a time to do some activities so adults could listen to the sermon, and then they'd come back. But I found that if I could give them chores to do, like I let them carry the gospel book, or they had a little tiny processional cross, the kids really loved that. They loved being part of the service. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that's helped is that in our remodeling, we moved our nursery from a very inconvenient place to a very, very convenient place, which will pass 100.
I did pass it, and I noticed that.
It used to be on the floor up,
Yeah.
and people didn't like leaving their kids.
Well, and do you blame them? I mean, there's so much that goes on these days, and you come to a new place and you put your child somewhere, and then you have to walk a fair distance from where they are, and you don't know if they're going to be okay or not. I think, yeah, so I think that was brilliant. Yes, sir.
As a young person, I'm not the youngest one here, but one of the things that attracted me to live here is that one of the things that attracted me to come here is that they welcome everybody, and they, in a way that I feel growing without really thinking about judgment. So every week I come here, I feel there is a seed in my heart that is growing. Instead of really thinking about what people think or say. From the preachers are excellent. Noah always say something to my heart. I mean, I feel this is coming from another state. I think this is a very good net and a very good way to start using God.
Good, excellent. Yes, ma'am.
Holy listening is a
great opportunity for us to really meet one-on-one with individuals within the church, to get a real great composite of all the gifts and talents of the many people we have here. And then the other thing is just the outreach that we're doing in this Caring for Creation and thinking about the environment and really investing in the local other businesses that support that. So it's a great opportunity within and outside.
So tell me about holy listening. What is that?
Jared. Well, we have some individuals that started, so I'm going to.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Well,
Yeah, good.
Good morning. So, holy listening, I'm sure everybody in the room knows, but for your benefit, it's been 2 years that we have interviewed parishioners one-on-one and asked questions of what is important to you, what are your priorities, what are you involved in, how are you engaged in your community, what do you think your community needs to do to continue to improve. And so we've culled all of that data and spit out a report that says that education is important, health is important, the environment is important, homelessness is important, food insecurity is important. So those are 5 priorities that we've kind of hung up as everything we're going to do will address these in some way. In addition to like buildings and grounds, but every decision with buildings and grounds will be from an environmental lens and that sort of thing. So everything will, dotted line back to one of those 5 strategic priorities for us. So
That's great.
Keeps us on track. When Noah came here and then we had Jared, it was post-COVID and it was post-capital campaign. So we didn't want to say, okay, we're just going to go back and do what we used to do. For those of us who are new, that meant nothing. There's so many of us that are new, 3-4 years new or newer. And so that was unfamiliar to us. And so we decided to start a new day and be intentional about it.
Can you list those 5 strategic initiatives?
Yeah, education, health, environment, homelessness, and food insecurity.
Okay.
So one question that I have is, everybody's been focused on the government furlough and the shutdown, and particularly the restriction of access to SNAP benefits. And I'm wondering if you saw any kind of shift or increase. Oh my goodness. Okay. Do I need to repeat the question? Can you help me? Yeah. Bishops forget how to dress themselves. I'll just have to help. Thank you. All right. Who was?
I would say that month of October we did the hardest collection of food and it was abundant. It was crazy.
When people want to do something.
Because the timing, it was set in advance of knowing about SNAP, but then because of the SNAP fear of it going away, people really were overjoyed. It was crazy.
That's
Wait for the microphone, please.
That's what I was going to say, but we collected 1.5 tons of food.
Awesome.
To contribute to the food bank of Southeast Virginia.
Yeah.
And it was amazing the day that it was the food bank, even Vickery came out, Bella walked in the door and said, I did not expect this.
Wow.
I was very, very pleased to see the amount of participation.
That's really heartwarming. So you'll recall, of course, everything shifts very quickly in our current administration, but you'll recall there was a decision that came down from the Supreme Court that granted the U.S. government the option to continue to block SNAP benefits, even though a court had ordered that they be paid. Well, I was at a Credo retreat. I don't know if you all know what Credo is. I call it spa for clergy, but it's a wellness retreat, and I was there, and something in me shifted when I heard that, and so I actually drafted a letter to the diocese asking them to do food drives and to get people to bring food, or even to I don't know how much you spend on groceries each week, but I think my husband and I spend about $250 a week, and take a tithe of that and give it to a food bank or whatever. It's only $25, So anyway, I had all these ideas, and then it shifted again, and so I actually didn't release the letter, but but it sounds like you all did it just kind of intuitively. So kudos to you, yeah. Over here, yeah.
We have a lunch ministry that we do on Thursdays, where we basically will feed anybody who wants to come in. And we have definitely seen an uptick of people. And we usually have what I call our frequent flyers, our regulars that come in. But the last couple weeks, we've seen people that we've never seen before coming in to eat lunch with us.
Well, and I suspect that in addition to the food, they maybe want some community, some stability. Things are very unstable right now, a sense of belonging. So, Centering Prayer friend, did you have your hand up? Don't I know you from Centering Prayer?
Natalie to talk about the feeding people. And I tell you what, that room is full of love.
Yeah.
We feed that too.
Yeah, good, good. Back here. We're doing the microphone because apparently we're recording. Yeah.
My impression is that the food banks in Virginia really do an excellent job. Just one example, I work at Norfolk Naval Shipyard, part of the Navy, and 10,000 workers, and a lot of the workforce is, weekly paycheck to paycheck kind of guys, and so already after a couple of weeks, some people were having a lot of trouble. Well, the food bank came in and was providing 2,000 plus meals a week to those that needed it, 35-pound boxes. So I've got nothing but accolades for the state of Virginia in this respect, or the people of Virginia.
Yeah, they have done a good job, including, releasing the Virginia Emergency Nutritional Assistance so that those who depend on SNAP benefits could still get something. And then just after, I mentioned that I was at that wellness retreat when the Supreme Court decision came down, but then the week following I was at St. Martin's in Williamsburg on a visitation, and they had heard about a statewide food drive that Virginia was doing, and that churches could sign up to be, points of where people could bring food, kind of like what you all do. And so St. Martin's had just signed up for that. So, I'm in favor of government assistance. I mean, I don't want to Q-bid my void or whatever, what the bridge term is about my political leanings, but before there was government assistance, who stepped into the gap? The churches did. And, we've allowed ourselves to become somewhat complacent about that when now maybe we need to be stepping up to the plate, much as you all have done. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Hang on for the microphone if you don't mind. Well, this is for people that we're recording for, so.
Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning.
My name's Mariel Burgess, and I just want to tell you that I went home and told my group at the Algonquin House that we needed to save food for Christ in St. Luke's. And they looked at me and they said, we're going to collect it. So we have a food drive that's been going on. We've already taken 533 pounds to the food bank, and another load is going tomorrow. And we're going to just keep it going through the end of the year because people need food. Always.
They always do.
Always.
Yeah, and so where, you said Algonquin?
Algonquin House.
Okay.
It's a condo.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
12-story condo, and I looked there earlier this morning, and there was nothing in there, and then I came back down a little while later, and there's 2 more bags in there, so it's good to go. Thank you.
Yeah, good. I mentioned that, our situation today is constantly shifting, and I actually don't watch the news, and I don't listen to the news because I find it very toxic. But I'm not uninformed. I have a couple of sources that I read, and then my husband, as you know, who is an Episcopal priest, he's able to receive news and not be poisoned by it. And we affectionately refer to him as the canon for all that other stuff. So he is actually my news source, and he will let me know what's going on. But I forgot where I was going with that, because I was so, every time I think about my husband, I just, my heart starts beating. And the canon for all that other stuff. But yeah, he keeps me informed and helps me to decide when to act. And so I'm still aware of how quickly the scene is shifting, and people feel like things are out of control. And I'm talking about, I don't care which side of the political aisle you're on, people feel like things are out of control. And when things are out of control, we want to do something. And the fact that you are giving people an opportunity to respond to some of the hopelessness, the instability, the insecurity, is really a gift to them as well, because we're created to give. And if we're prevented from giving, there's parts of us that are stifled. So no wonder people are coming through the doors here, Yeah, yes.
I think sometimes we look to either state or national level to feel security, to feel like, okay, well, they've got this.
Yeah.
I don't think we feel that way now, and so we turn back, hopefully people of faith, turn back to our faith and to our churches to feel like that's where our security is. That's where we can say, we as a community have got this. And I think for Christ in St. Luke's, we have only a little corner of this, but
it's an important corner.
But it is an important corner, and when we see a need, we've got this. And we have, fortunately enough, people in our congregation who are willing to step up, and it's a growing number. And it does give us a chance and a pause to take a deep breath and go, okay, at least in this corner of the world, we're okay.
Yeah. So, we've got this. There's I think it's Matthew 25, when Jesus talks about, when you see me hungry or naked or without a home or whatever, and you respond, you're responding to me. And, as I was listening to you talk, it occurred to me, maybe we've idolized our government. And now we see the fault, because they can't respond to everything. And it is up to us. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I like the person running around with the microphone because it gives me an opportunity to drink my coffee. Yeah.
And not to change the subject,
yeah,
but
sure.
I would like to put in a word for the spiritual development that we get every Sunday. And that a lot of us are like, when you get up in the morning and you're like, okay, well, but there's going to be a good sermon.
Yeah.
There's always a good sermon here. There's always something that speaks to us, as you mentioned, talks to your heart. And just lots of various classes and seminars and things that we do here, either on a regular basis or a special occasion, that helps us grow and develop and have our hearts open for what can we do this. It's God's work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you can't come every Sunday because you miss some really good sermons, but you can
I'm
see
sure
them
I do.
online.
And if I only had the time to log on later on and listen to them, I believe you all live streamed them. So at our recent clergy retreat, which Father Noah and Father Jared attended, we had a monk who did a retreat on the importance of contemplative prayer. Now, he is a student of centering prayer, but he wasn't mandating that everybody do centering prayer, but that they develop a practice of contemplative prayer. The idea being, and I believe very strongly in this, that if we are grounded in an abiding presence of God and have that peace that goes with that, it radiates. And so it's very important to attend to your internal life, coming on Sunday to listen to homilies, engaging in I would say, a programmatic way of reading Scripture, engaging in the acts of service, which it sounds like you all have down in spades here, so that I think leadership that is grounded in that way has an impact on the world. It starts with us. We need to get past the external blaming. Now, that doesn't excuse some people of really, really bad behavior, but we don't have any control over it, really. We do have control over how we steward the soul that God gives us. And it sounds like that's what's happening here. So.
I'd like to just put in a plug about the worship services that take place here and some of the other special services that we have. I've spent my life in music, both as an educator, a performer, and an administrator of music programs and things. This church is extraordinary.
Yes.
It is truly extraordinary with the talent at the top, with Kevin and Marge and Margaret and a whole bunch of other people who are involved day to day, week to week, month to month, in making sure the music is good. It's quality music. But I think we all know that part. But what I want to say personally is that when I come and I know that I am asking those questions, what can I do? What can I do about what's happening in my world, in our world? Part of the solution for me is to be up there with my choir buddies and to sing some beautiful poetry or some beautiful words put together in a beautiful way, and suddenly my soul is somewhere else. It has peace and love and joy. And I just want you to know that we're lucky.
You are lucky. Well, I wasn't here very long before I invited Kevin Kwan to be on my liturgical commission. And thank goodness he said yes. But I'm reminded, I'm not going to be able to quote it exactly, but I have it framed on my wall at home. It's a quotation by Martin Luther that talks about the importance of good theological words, but then he places music above those, that it's much more powerful in communicating the presence of God than the theological words that we come up with. So I totally resonate with what you're saying. Yeah.
I think they qualify it as...
Hold on one second. Wait for the microphone, please.
I think they qualify that as the universal language.
Right.
Because music transcends all ethnicities, all regions around the world. People can emote to good music. So.
Yes, sir.
Three years ago, my wife and I went on the Diocese-supported Camino Walk.
Yeah.
And then this last year, this church, in conjunction with our choir trip, we had 20 do a pilgrimage to England.
Right.
I was wondering if there is a possibility of the diocese organizing another pilgrimage in a year or so?
We are talking about that. As you probably are aware, as we were coming out of COVID, the diocese sponsored a pilgrimage to the Holy Lands. And, and of course, we sponsored the Camino pilgrimage. There's been some talk about pilgrimages to Iona, maybe another Camino pilgrimage. I'm not interested right now in going to the Holy Lands, not because I think it's dangerous, but I'm not interested in supporting financially some of the stuff that's going on there. So yes, there is talk about it. We just haven't landed on anything yet. Yeah, I wanted to be on that Camino pilgrimage, but my orthopedic structure did not support that. So hopefully, I could do it now. So. I want to ask if you are being confirmed or received today, could you stand up? Because I understand that yeah. All right, good. All right. Thank you. Please sit down. I have a question for how much, am I still good on time? I forgot to put my watch on.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So I have, a part of my own theology about church is that God intentionally gathers people into communities. You're not here by accident. You're here because God has given you a gift of some kind that this community needs in order to be able to do what God's asking you to do. So we have, about 25 new folks coming in today, and I like to ask them, what gift do you think you're bringing to Christ in St. Luke's? People are always hesitant to answer this because it sounds like they're bragging. But they're not. This is the gift God has given you, so it's not because of you, it's because of God. So I'm wondering if some of the confirmands and those being received could tell us what they're bringing.
I am not one of these people who's the thinker. I'm not I'm strategizing, I think we should do here. I'm the person that I need X done, go get it done. That's what I do.
That is important, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a great cook.
What'd you say?
Denise.
Yes, and you're a...
Work at the lunch ministry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so hospitality is a spiritual gift, so you can
I'm
look
Natalie,
it up in
and I
Corinthians.
confirm she's a great cook.
Hang on.
So previously, I think I would say like my musical talents, but I actually am not part of the choir here the way I was when I was younger. But one of the gifts that I think that I have that people have told me is I kind of jokingly say I'm everyone's hype woman. I kind of like see things that people are doing and try to bring attention to them and like uplift them to use their own gifts, if that makes sense.
So kind of an encourager,
yes.
Which is also a spiritual
Yeah.
gift.
A lot of people have said, like, thank you for noticing that, like,
Yeah.
I did blah, blah, blah. And I kind of like, you're really good at this. Like, you should do more of it. Like, you're, like, I don't know. I try to notice the small things and help people with that.
Wow.
I don't know.
If I were a priest in a parish, I would want someone like you. So we should do like in the back corner and then in the front corner so that she has to run around.
How do you get those steps in? I'm a plant and flower person, so I'm on the Plant Guild. We did the mulch. I hope you noticed.
It was beautiful, lovely, lovely, yeah.
And there was the wedding and then the flowers, so
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah, that beauty, that awesome. Right.
My life and my professional career has been as an architect. And I had a successful award-winning firm for 30 years. I mentored a lot of young professionals. I was, what can I say, celebrated by young people with great talent. So I was a motivator, a mentor, a guide, and now I'm on the Building and Grounds Committee. I did not do any work here. I can't take credit for that, but it was that's part of my gift.
Wow, so necessary. Again, along the lines of encouraging. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, since you mentioned the pilgrimage, did you ever read John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress?
Oh, yes, several times, yeah.
Well, that's one of the greatest works in English literature.
Yes.
And it is a blueprint how to stay steadfast in the Word of God through all manner of trial and tribulation, which may be the kind of test we're going to be going through in the future here.
I would agree. The letter to the Thessalonians, which I don't talk so much about in my sermon, but I do talk about endurance. And it's not the kind of endurance that athletes have where they punish their bodies, but it's an endurance that's grounded in disciplines. And we have many disciplines in our Christian faith that 5 minutes, they run a tight ship here. So the Canterbury House at William, and then I'll get to your question, the Canterbury House at William and Mary, so I'm just saying this because I'm not opposed to pilgrimages, have invited me to go with them in March on their pilgrimage to Canterbury, and so I am going to be doing that with them. Looking forward to that. Yes, question over here.
As I've been listening, one of the themes that I'm hearing emerge focuses on hunger, and you asked us what are the gifts that we bring. I think maybe not our physical hunger, but our spiritual and psychological hunger is something that we bring to this church and are fed and nourished by in so many ways.
And act as a magnet to those who are looking for the same thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Yes, sir.
Just to say something before we finish, we all have to remember that we are all child in front of God's eyes. So I believe that, as the Bible says, the church will be full in the latest days. So everything is happening for a reason. Mm-hmm. We all have to love, take care of each other, and believe that He will take care of us.
Right, right. But we have to keep our focus on Him.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in my heart. I mean, I'm one of you.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. All right. Is this a good time to stop? This has been amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah.